That's a whole field with a lot of data.
There's a lot of data. There's data we don't understand. I'm seeing the data visualization go a lot more into the context stuff. I've been tracking stuff for years, so.
No, I mean, I just.
Yeah. So I'm just looking for ways to interact with data.
I said
Yeah.
So y'all been on a tab on my browser.
Download the free trial. You get a full functioning 2-week free trial.
Yeah, but the thing is, I touch like once in 3 months. So.
Oh yeah, you do have to stick with it a little bit. Learning curve is not too bad. You gotta be consistent. But the nice thing is that kind of explore your data.
Yeah, I like that idea.
You kind of throw a couple of visualizations together, see if things jive right. That part of it. And then there's, in the context of the server, there's like, yeah, I mean, it's giveaway certification knowledge information.
Yeah, I was going to bring this up too.
We also provide data warehouse.
Yeah, actually, I'll show you like what I do with
One working mark.
Database.
Is it on PC or Mac?
both a PC Mac version for the desktop product, and then our server product is Windows and Linux.
The legal part is kind of interesting.
Privacy guard. I was in a couple weeks ago. One of the givens was a little thing that was UPS, a little slider that would go over your camera.
Nice, branded.
So when you're private, it's UPS.
Yeah, when I work from home, I kind of scan on my standing desk so it stays open,
Right,
facing the room all the time. I'll take it off meetings and stuff.
right.
Yeah, it'll be like up here and reaching the
So, offers huge list of good to see native connectors, various data sources.
Yeah, so
kinds of tools and stuff. But if you have something that's going to be another create what we call web data connectors. That's how I can get stuff out of
Gotcha.
So you just go to that how you want to. So,
in fact, when I say I go through and check it out, everything.
you're familiar with Java. So it's a web app for cycling.
Okay.
So you go out for a bike ride, you turn it on, it records your ride, it records all the
They mark that and send it to us.
typical, like miles per hour. It maps it, and shares it to social data for cyclists, runners now too. So they're providing mapping, they're providing some basic analytics. But do this all the time.
Hi everybody, thanks for coming. So as you probably seen from the invitation, our today's topic is fitness, and we have 3 talks. First is Gina and Edwin going to talk about November project. We have good representations of the members. The next we're gonna have our sponsors, and it's a good opportunity to thank our sponsors. First, Capel Factory for letting us use this awesome space. Like every month, we have another sponsor, which is BeMinder. They pay us for the membership fees, and they are a commitment contract app. So if you wanna stick to your goals, you can put money on the line that you're gonna make sure you're gonna get there. And the third sponsor gonna have their own talk after Gina and Edwin, so we'll hear about them. And that's it. I hope you all enjoy it.
Thanks, y'all.
Thank you.
If you didn't know this was about fitness, now's your time to run away. Sorry. My name is Edwin Pacheco. This is Gina Rivera. We are the co-leaders of the November Project. If you've had a chance to look at this slide, there are all sorts of different people in there. There's a baby in this picture. There's a couple dogs, people of all sorts of ages. So we are going to talk about what November Project is, how we started, what we're about, and what we're doing here in this city. What is November Project? November Project was founded in 2011 by two friends in Boston. They were rowers, and they wanted a way to keep each other accountable in the winter months. Since they're rowers, competition doesn't really go on during the winter months, so they wanted to stay in shape. They were getting a little flabby, so they decided, let's form a pact. Let's keep each other accountable. Let's work out together outside every day in the month of November. Let's call it the November Project. They even had their little spreadsheet where they keep a tally of when they worked out, when they didn't work out. It was all about accountability. This caught on with friends and family, and little by little more and more people started joining this group. So eventually it became so big, people eventually started moving away and leaving. They wanted to take this with them. They liked what this was about. We love the concept of providing free fitness for a community because anybody can join at this point. It's open to the public. You're here because of a meetup group. That's essentially what we are. We're open to everybody. All you have to do is essentially show up and you're free to work out with us. So now, this started in 2011. If you look at the pictures, this is from various cities. The beach one is actually not in California. That's in Chicago, believe it or not. They're working out the beach in Chicago, which isn't warm at all, but that's what they do. That's the Harvard Stadium. That's in DC. Which one's that one? I'm not sure. Philly. So just to give you a quick glimpse, we are in 43 different cities across the globe. This is even in Hong Kong. This is in Amsterdam. I mean, just to give you a glimpse of where we're located, we just became a November Project tribe, is what they call the cities, in May of this year. So we are brand new to the city. But Gina and I have been putting this together. It's been a project of ours since November of 2014, and we're finally here. So we'd like to share this with you.
So our workouts are about 45 minutes. It's a mixture of cardio, body weight exercises like burpees and push-ups and squats. But we also like to have a lot of fun in our workouts, and we like to include a human connection so that there's hugging in our workouts. There's a lot of encouragement. Whether you're a fun runner or a fast runner, you're going to get a lot of support from all of the members. You're going to hear like, you're doing a great job, you're doing awesome, you're kicking ass, things like that. That's something that we really believe in, to be supportive of our community. And we always start our workouts with what we call the bounce. It's just, at 6 o'clock in the morning, people are still asleep, they're kind of groggy, so we like to get them fired up. It involves a lot of yelling and screaming, sometimes singing, and it always ends with giving your other members hugs.
We try to get you out of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
In a fun way.
Do you want to
Yeah, sure. We'll play you a quick glimpse of what our bounce looks like in the morning. Just picture being in front of the state capitol and doing this at 6 a.m. It's obnoxious, but that's who we are. How do I join November Project? You just show up. It really is as simple as that. We put this together. Gina and I are essentially volunteers, and we provide this because we have a passion for providing a free fitness opportunity for the city. A lot of people can't afford certain workout groups. Some people can only afford a certain amount. Some people like to have a variety and use this as an opportunity to meet other people and make that kind of connection with others. We have a wide variety of different people that come. We currently meet 3 times a week, which we'll go over here in a little bit, but it's as simple as that. There's no application, there's no paperwork you need to sign. It's just like anybody in this group, if you're interested in coming, just come to one of our workouts and that's it. That's all it takes.
So we have 3 locations that we meet. We meet on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Mondays we're at the Frank Irwin Center. We meet on the Red River East Side. You can see here, these are the steps. We like to say on Monday mornings we have stairs for breakfast, and we usually, the warm-up involves probably 10 or 15 minutes of running up and down those steps, a couple laps in there, and then, you know, it's anything from a circuit workout to core workouts, and we always involve the stairs, 'cause that's a big deal for us. On Wednesdays, we're at the state capitol. We meet on the south side. On Fridays, we're at the U.S. courthouse across from Republic Square Park. Many of you know that park has been closed for over a year, so we use the courtyard in between the park and the courthouse. And it's always at 6 a.m., and we are always there, whether it's raining, we never get any snow, but you know, if you know the sun's shining, usually not at 6 o'clock in the morning, but whether it's hot, it's cold. One of the big things for us is accountability. I'm accountable to everyone that shows up. They're accountable to each other, so no matter what, at 6 o'clock in the morning, if you show up, we will be there.
All right, what's the catch? Why are we doing this? Really, there is none. We enjoy doing this. Everybody that leads a November Project group in every city does this because they love it. Gina and I put a lot of hard work into planning workouts, getting there by 6 a.m., planning events, whether it be things outside of the workouts from happy hours or runs, we do races together. We put this together to make a connection for our community. We've made a lot of friends. Actually, there's several people in here that I wouldn't have met if it wasn't for this group. Raise your hand if you've come to one of our workouts. These people in the back, everybody, most people in this room actually. These people, most of them, I did not know before this group. It's a great way to meet friends. We have all sorts of different age groups, backgrounds, ethnicities, sexual orientations. We welcome everybody. So the catch, there is no catch. We just enjoy doing this. It's our passion. We love doing it. Oh, sure. A little about us. Who are these people? Well, again, I'm Edwin Pacheco. How did I join this group? I found it on Meetup. I was looking for a free fitness opportunity. I was paying a lot to go to a gym, and really it was kind of boring. And it's easy not to go to work out when you're doing it by yourself. You don't have anybody holding you accountable to do this. I mean, and friends that aren't in the same fitness program as you or same gym can't keep you accountable either. So I found this on a Meetup app, and I joined and immediately hooked. But at that point, it was rather small, but I quickly made friends, and little by little started catching on. People started realizing that this was out here in Austin. And to this point, I started in November 2014, and we currently average about 50 to 60 people every workout. So it's fun. It's a wide variety. We have a great time with it, and I've been doing it ever since.
So I'm Gina Rivera. How I found out about November Project, I moved here from Washington, D.C., and I saw a friend posting on social media these pictures like at the Lincoln Memorial and at parks in DC, and you know these people were doing burpees and push-ups and stuff like this outside, and I was like, what is this? This looks like so much fun. I was trying to get my fitness back on track. I gained a bunch of weight when I moved here. You guys all know we have great food here, especially the tacos. So I gained a lot of weight when I moved here, and this is not really a walking city if you live outside of downtown. But I was seeing those social media posts, and I was intrigued, and so I said, next time I'm home, I'm going to come out to one of these workouts with you. And I went, and I always like to say it was love at first bounce. Like, I immediately loved it. I had 200 people welcoming me, encouraging me. It was great. And when I came back here, you know, I contacted November Project, and I was like, it would be awesome if we had something like this here. And they directed me to someone who had moved from Boston that was about to start a free fitness community here. So I've been with we were Project Austin before, and that was November of 2014, and started leading about a year later, and I've been with it ever since. So it changed my life. I lost 35 pounds.
Thanks. So we like to talk, so we decided to show more pictures than anything. So now we're going to open up for questions. Again, we are on social media, every platform, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Find us, like us, ask us questions. Ask me, Gina, or anybody in here that's been to one of our workouts any additional questions after this. But right now, is there anything I can answer?
Is it like CrossFit in that you have prescribed workouts and they're the same for each city? So if I were here and then I went some other city on a certain day, I kind of know what to expect?
So every city does the same. We focus on cardio, core, and bodyweight workouts. So it's never any equipment. We don't ask you to bring any yoga mats. So picture anything you can do with your body weights. I can run with my body weight. I can do push-ups and squats. picture that, every city does it, but we have our own types of workouts. Like she and I will plan something that might be a little different than Boston or DC or San Francisco.
Yeah, and we all bounce ideas off of each other. So we recently had a finisher that involved squats and burpees, and he posted a video about it on social media, and then some of the other tribes noticed it, and they're like, oh, this looks like a lot of fun. And you know, we bounce ideas off like that, but you won't really run into a lot of the same. I mean, it'll be similar, but you know, each city is unique. It's just, you know, whoever the leader is.
Some people, some cities are close to mountains, some are close to beaches. Yeah. We're not, so we use what we can. Anybody else?
Yeah, what's a burpee?
A burpee. All right. Woo. That is a burpee.
Oh, okay.
It's fun.
Yeah, it's our favorite exercise because you use every muscle in your body. So.
Yeah.
What wearables do y'all recommend?
What wearables?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, what do y'all use in terms of fitness trackers?
So I mean, it varies. We don't really try to promote one product because everybody uses all sorts of different kinds. So, well, I use Garmin. Garmin's works really well for me. She uses.
I have a Fitbit.
Yeah.
It's the Surge.
And
I like it because it connects to Strava.
And a lot of us try to balance that idea off of each other because it's easy to track one another's progress. And if you see somebody who's ahead of you in mileage for the week, you're like, okay, I want to run faster than this person.
Why 6 o'clock?
6 o'clock. I was waiting for that. I was surprised that wasn't the first question. It is always at 6 o'clock, always will be. It's always in the mornings. Every city varies. It's usually 5:30, 6, or 6:30, but it started at that time. It's always in the morning. It's easy to sleep in, wake up, go to work, and then try to knock out your workout in the evening. But the problem is accountability is harder in the mornings. And so getting it out of the way, knowing that you completed your workout, and then having the rest of your day, and even having the afternoons for happy hours is what we like to say, is a big deal for us. So we enjoy it. It's always been at that time. We'll have random events on weekends and sometimes afternoons, but as far as our main workouts, they'll always be at 6 a.m.
Well, at least the sun's not out at 6 a.m. and you know, although
It's still hot at
humid,
that time.
it's still, you know, at 6 p.m. it's pretty hot here for most of the year. So you knock that workout out. You know, there's so many times you can get distracted during the day. You know, you plan, I'm going to go to the gym at 6 o'clock, or I'm going to run Town Lake at 6 o'clock. But you know, life comes up and you don't always make it. But at 6 a.m., you know, you usually don't have anything else going on besides sleeping. So you get that out of the way, and you're done for the day, and you've already done the workout, and probably done more than most people have done before they wake up. If you do it at 6 o'clock.
What about parking in the various locations?
So that's the beauty of it. If you guys were at 6 o'clock, a lot of the meters are free. Our workouts are 45 minutes long, so for example, the Capitol was the biggest deal because there's a lot of meters around there, and they're heavily enforced, especially when they're in the 7 o'clock to 6 p.m. times. The meters don't start till 7, so we're done by 6:45. But at that point, you've got time to wrap up, pick up your stuff, head to your car, and you're out before the meter starts. So same thing with the U.S. courthouse and everywhere else.
Yeah, Frank Irwin, you can't park on Red River East, like that's where we meet, but it's a split street. If you park over on Red River West, there's plenty of parking there. For the state capitol, again, street parking, some of it is free till 7. If you get further away from the capitol, it's free till 8. But at that hour, there's not, I mean, it's wide open, there's plenty of spaces. At the courthouse, usually along 4th, you can't park on 5th anymore. You used to be able, but then when they closed that park down, they took a lot of the parking off of 5th. But any of the side streets, again, free till 7.
Anybody else? Kirby J.
Can you tell us about the bat on your shirt?
Oh yes, the bats. So, the fun part about November projects, we get to be unique, and these are called passport tags. So, we don't sell apparel, we're a non-profit, we don't make any money off of this. So the idea is, if you want to represent the workout you attend, we can tag a shirt for you. So bring any shirt to our workouts, we'll tag it for you, it's something fun we do. Every city has a passport tag that you can get. So if I go to, for example, Florida and Orlando, they have an orange slice, that's their tag. You go to San Francisco, they have the Golden Gate Bridge as a tag. It's just a fun way for us to, when we're traveling and there's a November project, tribe in their city, go visit, go work out with them, make some new friends, get a passport tag on your shirt, bring it home. It's more of a collector's item. So and of course we have a bat for obvious reasons.
Yeah, it's just something that represents the city. You know, like New York has an apple. DC has Lincoln Memorial. And this just sort of differentiates the different tribes and gives it their own like unique flavor. Obviously we were trying to decide on ours and we're like, well, maybe we should do a guitar because we're the live music capital of the world. And we thought about an armadillo, something very Texas. But the bat is, unless you live here or visited here, it's not something that you identify with Austin, but then the story is really cool when you find out what it is. And so it's been really great to like teach other cities and stuff about this unique thing that we have here. So.
All right, well, thanks everybody. Thank you. Let us know if you have any more questions at the end.
All right, well, thank you. And we're gonna take a few minutes until the next talk. So just have some snacks and mingle.
No beer, gal? Beer?
When it's kind of about fitness, it's oh, actually, they told me I can't have beer. Like an Indian shirt.
Oh, that's fine.
I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, what's in the back?
So they're gonna try to Skype in.
Okay. Right? Yeah.
No, there was not.
Oh, really? Okay.
Actually, it's English, but there's a chapter also.
That's it, really?
We posted
Where do they do
Yeah.
that? 2 and 4.
I was just listening to the podcast this morning, and it was a talk with this guy
So that's the whole
named,
thing, each week,
Dominique. Yeah, that guy. He gave this hour-long talk about his research, which is if you're ever in the park, the U.S. military hired him. He had to convince them that they needed to.
Don't get me wrong. No, we like to.
Did you hear that talk?
I heard him talk about it.
Okay.
I'd like to
Yeah.
find out more about this.
Yeah, he had a lot of information about,
Yep.
you know,
everybody gets really rude.
everything about ketogenesis and how it
I do
affects
too.
these,
I'm not part of that.
these divers, and also, apparently the divers get some kind of seizure or something because of the too much oxygen or something, and it's very similar to the kind of seizures that happen with things like that. So
I hashed for
his research and the epilepsy research kind of
when I
overlaps.
stopped running, got some knee, and just the other day,
He was saying, he said several times in this talk
in my
that
neighborhood,
fasting
and I
can
saw
give
some
you
people and heard some
a bunch of these
noise,
benefits.
I heard his whistle.
Another way
and I
is
saw
to
some
take
people, and I
exogenous
said,
ketones.
You guys, are you on trail? You guys happy? And they're like, no, it's done, but we're having a party now, so come on. So I walked into a stranger's house, got some beer, and
Yeah, it sounds up my alley.
I mean, it's like that everywhere. All the chapters are like that.
Yeah?
Yes, it is.
Is it still the armadillo? Yeah.
Ground mind.
We'll call it reverse.
It's a mouthful, right?
Actually, the
Hatch.
reverse I have something similar to that.
And
Oh, and there's Dominique.
I was thinking about the similarities when y'all were talking.
Again, we like to go and trial different communities, so I mean, it's something I would like to do.
Oh, right, okay. Wow.
relying on a lot of biomarkers. So he said you can just back once, like 5 days every like 2 months.
Y'all are
and you get the
representing
same,
the force.
like, long
Yeah, I honestly didn't expect
Yeah.
that.
That might be like easier.
Well, you said there's what, 8?
We're not used to being together in here.
I know, we give each other hugs and we're
Oh, thank you. It was accumulated over many, many years.
Right. Yeah, once you get sort of adapted to low
I work
carb,
for Tableau.
oh,
nice.
Yeah.
so you can go long stretches.
Those are from our
Because before,
I know, I was like,
I eat breakfast, when I got time for lunch, I'm ready to eat, and if I didn't get to eat for an hour or two, I'd start to get jittery. Like running out of sugar, you're hitting the wall. So, when you do your fasting, do you eat or drink anything? Like,
Give it away for free. Just you sign an enterprise license agreement for SQL Server,
because some people,
SSIS, yeah, I know how they work.
I'm learning that some people have these, like, some people might have broth or bouillon, right? Yeah, right, exactly. And some people might have just a little bit of food, like maybe the whole day, 200 calories, right? And they still call it fasting. So I was just wondering, what program you were doing.
so they got used to their
Yeah.
That's what we thought Ellen was the same one. But yeah, he was like, my mom was here, y'all. And they say,
That's how we
Oh, yeah, we use those ones.
Yeah, I'm really just starting to learn about it.
It's always a free trial, so.
Yeah, there's like a lot of different ways that you can fast.
Oh, wow. This is what I do with Strava. So we have a web data connector to Strava. So I track. So
You're doing it once a week?
This is my
Every
annual
Friday or what?
cumulative total. So you see, like this year, of course, I only rode twice this month, so this last day is not really relevant, but
like an hour.
I'm still behind last year. Then this heat map's just my mileage per day. So we don't get a lot of elevation here, but on the Seattle or
There's like a bunch of motivation.
our headquarters is so we did a big ride out there. So I made this one where I can sort it either by elevation gain. So I went to a place called Tiger Mountain.
Right, that's right.
Elevation gain in the same kind of distance that we started at 600 feet here.
I get a stack of
We
bricks.
literally spent the first hour.
I buy them faster than I read them,
The
but
next hour coming down. But this is
something like Ultimate Fasting by Jason and
how are my Jimmy Moore? What are my top 20? And if I want to get on track to 2015, I want some big months. So it runs on my top mileage months. So last year I was rethinking for a 50 fasting base his main tools. So I had some big miles in there after Jim last this week last year. So this last year I had 56 miles.
I'd be curious to see if because many times I want to type something about myself and see how it affects it.
You could join it, or you could do what's called data blending. If I had a set file, high temperature rainfall that date, then I could join it on the date field, blend it on the date fields.
Weekly ends up normally being process I say,
you could do that three different ways. You could join it to the site command waiting to go at it without something to happen. You can do it anytime it's called fasting data source join, or we originally had something called blending.
Every day I'm
Cancer separate. So if one's oracle, one's inside, whatever, it's still blending is it has to be the same level. So I could do weekly.
That's right, every major religion has
My daily mileage would be
making that my real habit.
the difference is that the queries are run separately. Yeah, right now I'm and it's down to whatever level the data comes in at, and then I aggregate to the level I want. So I aggregate it to here, but in Strava, the record level, like if I go to the it'll just be that. No.
Islam, I have the Ramadan data, and that's like
full day, all the days.
where they only eat at night.
So I wrote 4 days
The
out.
whole month. So you can't eat when the sun's up, only when the sun's down. Yeah. So that, takes you like, what time of the year?
So I could do it different.
12, 14 hours without
Every
eating.
time you ride it,
but you'll get a wide range of people. And I say this, I'm going to talk about this is my first time in 10 years. I've been wanting to come here. I'm trying to go to the party. It's been on my radar for a year.
Like the traditional Jewish calendar, right? It's a lunar calendar.
based on the data type,
The months and days move through the year.
it'll make the recommendation. That's the ones that are already lit up. But let's say I wanted to do distribution chart, what I need straight out. If I did not have a date field present, or having chart with my highlighted, let's say you did. So it's not just a wizard, it's actually a encapsulation.
The fitness would be better. But that was part of my
Cancer cells use tremendous amount of
They've always been there.
Even the white papers that I read, never used pie charts.
big thing is I
So, things like pie charts or Google call charts, but just because the demand is there, people want them. There's a lot of charts you can do that you don't even see in this show me, like gauges, radar charts, some really ugly looking sales funnels, which
I've also heard that it reduces the
we put certain things in that just demand. It's hard to get a sense of the relationship.
Get what we call FOMO, you're missing out, and you still want to show up, like we'll find something for you.
So like you can help somebody almost a quarter.
Which is a good thing when you're taking chemotherapy, because chemotherapy is basically a poison that's designed, hopefully, to kill your cancer faster than it kills
It depends on what we plan, like sometimes we last running, last running, but again,
I was talking to a customer who'd been with Salesforce. So you guys don't do sales funnels, right? Good, that's going to be ugly, and then I explained it. But really,
no, I mean, yeah, like you want around the why would you want okay.
So funny.
I guess it just depends on what we plan to do.
I mean, like a bubble graph or perfect timeline.
Yeah, just check out
War zones, but again,
you
don't have multiple metrics, right? So the encroachment into geography, right? So now you're showing distance at the time. You're also showing time. So now you can kind of see these bubbles in space.
Exactly. That's all context.
Yeah.
It's all the context of our time. I think it's on Tablet Talk. I don't think I have access to it here, but I did for a presentation a few years ago where we took, so when we first did tree charts, you can actually put them into a bar chart. So had a bar chart, or a single tree.
Bars show measurements. Specific.
Yeah, these guys are
I don't have, I've got a photo of it, but I can post it. Basically,
I was excited to see that you guys were here. Like, I've been doing this meetup for a year and I just never have. I saw a reminder email yesterday and I'm super proud of it.
you can do things with what's called the basically animate it as it grows.
talk about.
So like, not everybody's connected to an Excel spreadsheet.
All those things are especially together.
But a lot of us group up and go do runs on our own too. So basically, if you do it's not, yeah, it's not part of that group, but we go to other groups and stuff too. Like we were on last night. Oh, it's fine. Doing good, yeah.
Waiting for
Actually, there's.
It's usually not.
It was called outside of Boston.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun.
Well, there's just server is online, which is and then the desktop is public, which is free, professional, personal.
I was thinking about that, yeah, when they were talking about
One of two ways.
here on the road at 5:15.
Or you can make it
You're better, as long as you don't.
I'm not on it. Now it's really kind of all the shit. This time last year, July of last year,
Nobody with that condition.
Yeah, and it's a series of races. They just had one in Paramount.
Yeah.
But they go from 10K to 60K. But the next one is July
I'm applying a secondary calculation. So it just showed my month and my so this is the actual this one. So now I can apply the forecast. And basically edit it. So you can take in seasonality. So this bigger section called survey. Say,
it's a seasonality, so maybe I ride it more in the spring and fall than I do in the winter months. There's really not enough data to compare to good forecasting. So folks using
Dozens of that. I don't know how well you
what exactly does the slide so
he says it means it's not scrapping. Yeah, it's how if you get it. So I
and then dates can be handled as industry values. So if they're measuring
my parents told me when they were little, it's very high intelligence. People used to take a whole chicken, they boil it, like they drink the soup. So from every bone in the chicken, it looks like the chicken has been so much
I'm not really select this.
you're getting all the
That's a good example of that. Reactive observation. You learn some things about yourself.
So these are quantitative variables, number of values.
How much I sleep, how many hours I sleep, when I sleep, when I wake up, just a subjective.
So this is how we handle that. Take the quantitative sales, then break it out by qualitative values such as customer satisfaction. And if you want to
Depending on where they were, doctors will generally rich person. But that's necessary work.
Different types of snow, because they have all these different kinds of snow, or I just want snow. I think blizzard flow and train is like, they have 80 different types. I kind of think that about sleep.
Oh, so sub-filters, so filters one, so yeah.
I look at the floor, does it look like something I want to take a nap on? Does that actually feel like a great idea?
So that functionality is going to be all relevant values. So that if I filter to one state, then it's only going to filter to seven categories in one state. Process dashboard. So if I have Excel and I'm not going to run around and play around with Excel and Power BI is
Okay. Does that better? I don't know how to get the splits right now. I don't feel Okay, and then share screen.
I know they were earning sales.
Is that working?
Oh, very cool.
Okay, hold on. I don't know. Okay, hold on. Download.
That's important.
What the heck? I have no idea where I put that. There we go.
We have our systems based here. What's the title?
You able to see it?
Yeah, let me I buy the bags, I go to Schrader's. Since they stuff, and I can
what it is right now is this deployment.
Okay.
Hi everybody. Alright, we're back to the show. We have Orange Theory Fitness. They are one sponsor. They sponsor the drinks and food. And we're gonna hear now from Vita. Couldn't make it, but she's here on Skype and as good. Alright, there you go.
Okay, so I can't see anybody, so if you guys have questions, just let me know. Gal reached out, I work at the, hi there, I can see you guys now, hey! I am one of the studio managers for the Orange Theory, actually at the Mueller location that will be coming early fall. I kind of told Gal, though, when we spoke previously that I was a member at first. And the reason I transitioned to being an employee was because I personally have lost 50 pounds with the company and loved it so much that I wanted to help other people. So I'm kind of just sharing my story and a little bit about our company. And then if you guys have any questions, just ask away. I hope you can hear me. I think this is supposed to play, but I don't know how to get it to play, so if it doesn't work, no big deal. This is supposed to be a little video, just to give you an overview of Orange Theory. Let's see if I can get it to work. There we go.
Yeah, we don't hear the sound of it, but we can play here.
She can hear it though.
Yeah, she can.
Wait, maybe you need to press OK. About
But I think that's hers, right?
yeah. Well, it looks good.
At least there's a ton of words.
Yeah.
It's helpful.
So that's like the flashy overview of Orange Theory. I don't know how to get, there we go. So before Orange Theory, that's me. I was happy, but I had really bad anxiety, and there was, what did I just do? Hold on. Sorry, you guys. Stop! There we go. Anyway, I had really bad anxiety, and I used to be really athletic. I used to be in a bunch of sports, all that kind of stuff, but then I got really sick in college, and then that all led to a bunch of weight gain, and that led me to this. Though, with Orange Theory, this is the outcome that I was able to do with 6 months. So you can see, like, obviously, very, not personal, I don't really care, but my before and afters, like, you can see my stomach and then everything on the left. But really, Orange Theory has created such a different lifestyle for me that I no longer have to be on medications. But not only that, like, you can feel such a difference in your mood and in your energy. I mean, just overall, I have more energy and I have more happiness with life. So it just, now we're kind of switching to Orange Theory is changing people's lives and not just changing their, their body composition. But a little bit about Orange Theory, kind of as you saw in the video, it's high energy fit. It's a fitness program that's designed to target body fat. Like I said, it helped me overall lose 50 pounds. And like I was also saying, it's helped me feel more energetic, and it's helped me come off of anxiety medication, which is huge. I'm trying to think of like what else to say. I'm more trying to go about my story and not about Orange Theory as like, a company. But what we do to measure all of our weight loss is we have weight loss challenges. And during that time, you meet so many different people of so many different walks of life. And I've met some of my greatest friends from actually the weight loss challenge that I did, and I came in second place. But that's where we measure how well people get results with this company. And so one of my friends lost 20 pounds in a 6-week period. I lost 15. She won first place, I won second for the females. But it's just overall, the atmosphere of the class is not just a class. It's not you going to like 24-hour fitness or Gold's Gym and taking one of their classes. It's like a spin class or, all those kinds of things. It really is a family of people. People who are there, like they said in the video, who are just starting out. People who are extreme athletes and they're there to increase their pacing for marathons or all that kind of stuff. But you really do become like a little family. We have classes. So one of our locations at Avery Ranch has a Facebook group for the 5 a.m. class and the 6:15 a.m. class, but they all have become such a close-knit little family that they all motivate each other to get up at 4:30 in the morning to get to the class at 5 a.m. So it's not just a workout facility. That's kind of what we try to go about, is we, get people to love fitness so that you stay healthy. But how we differ from everyone else is that we focus on heart rate interval training. So we put a heart rate monitor on you and put your name up on a screen so you can see your results as you go in real time. But your whole entire goal, which is why we get the results we get, which is why I was able to accomplish what I was able to accomplish, is we just try to get you uncomfortable for 12 to 20 minutes out of an hour-long class. And it's not hard to do at all. It's the HIIT style training, the high intensity interval training. So you're just going up for a couple minutes at a time, coming back down. So you're really only getting to that percentage of your max heart rate that we want you to get to for no more than 2-3 minutes at a time. So people think, oh, I can't do it because it's too intense. It's really not. If I was able to do it 50 pounds heavier and lose all the weight, I promise you anyone can do it. It is pretty amazing, but again, going back to why I was able to get those results is because I was burning anywhere from 500 to 600 calories personally every class. And then with the afterburn, as long as you get the numbers, at the uncomfortable level that we want you to, you're going to burn an extra 10 to 15% of those calories up to 36 hours after the class. Women, it's not unfair because you're burning anywhere from 400 to 700 calories, but men burn anywhere from 700 to 1100. And I'm sorry, all you men in that classroom, but that's not fair because you guys are typically not focused on weight loss as we are, but as women. But hey, that's awesome, isn't it? But each class is led by a nationally certified personal trainer. It incorporates water rowers, treadmills, there's a weight room. So we incorporate everything that you need for a full body workout. Even if weight loss isn't your focus, like it was mine, toning can also be done. It's kind of, just whatever you want to accomplish, you can maximize your time and customize it to what you want to do. These are just some of the benefits. I told you what my benefits were, but a lot of people, what we hear from members and, before for me, friends, is that their metabolism increased. They liked it and kept going because the workouts were never the same. Again, it accommodates all fitness levels for maximum results. It eliminates the plateaus, which I personally had always hit a plateau. And with Orange Theory, I did not hit a plateau until I finally lost all the weight that I needed to lose. But it eliminates the guesswork from your workout, so you literally just go in, do exactly what the trainer tells you to do, and then you're done. And it increases energy for both overall health and wellness. Do you guys have any questions? I know I'm kind of plowing through, but is there anything that you personally would like to know?
Yeah, you can ask.
The data that's captured through the heart rate monitoring, is there an app or some way to access that so you can kind of see historical trends? How does that work?
Yep, so with the heart rate monitors, we have our own app and our own system. It's called OT Beats. And so during the class, that's the system that you're using, but when we close down the screen after every class, your results get emailed to you in a chart, or a little chart graph. And it just tells you how many minutes you spent in each heart rate zone. And then, I used it to track which trainer helped me burn the most calories, and that's the trainer I used to get my weight loss. But some people use it to see, how their first class differed from the last class they took. You can track it, and on the app that you can put on your phone, you can then go back and view all of your summary reports from all the classes that you had taken in an Orange Theory, no matter which location you go to. Yeah. So yeah. Are there any other questions?
No, I guess not.
My story, so this was just, if anyone is interested, I want to offer everyone just a free class just so you can try it. It's just a complimentary class and you can go anywhere in Austin. I put my number down here, and if you would like to try a class, You are more than welcome to text me. That's my cell phone number, 901-628-6181. And just text me your name so I know, and then that you were from this group, and then where you're located in Austin, so I can help you pick whatever studio is best to go and try the class. We like to give everyone a class for free, so if you are interested in trying it, I would love for you guys to try a class. I mean, you're more than welcome to ask questions about my personal story. I don't really ever share too much about it, but I'm happy to answer more questions if you guys have anything in specific that you are curious about. I mean, I know one of you already asked a question, but if anyone else has any questions, I'm happy to answer.
Are you still taking classes?
Yes. This is the only thing I do now. I started with 3 classes. I now take 5 classes a week, and I feel like I go crazy if I don't take at least 4. Not really, but I do take usually 3 and then a day off, and then 2 and then a day off. So yeah, but it's all that I do. So you become addicted to it. The music, it's very high energy. The music is just always, I'm a music major, so that was one thing that drew me to it, was the music. And they all play upbeat stuff, and depending on the season, they might, you know, do mashups of like Halloween music with the top hits music. And so each trainer has their own vibe. Each trainer has their, you know, their different style of coaching. But the music is, to me, what makes it the best. Because I will like sing and nod my head as I'm running, and I swear I almost fall off the treadmill every time, but I'm not going to stop because it's so motivating. And you just go, you know, you just get lost in the music. I do, at least. So yeah. I see a hand.
What are some of the workouts like? What's your favorite workout? How do they vary?
I like the power days. So our classes, we have 4 usually different style classes. One is endurance, one is strength, one is power, and one is ESP. So it's a little bit of everything. Endurance just works on your cardiovascular strength. So like on the treadmill, you're doing longer pushes. And not as many all outs as we call it. Power days, you're working fast twitch muscles, so you're doing more, you know, shorter sprints on the treadmill, you're doing more jump work back in the weight room. And then strength days, you're working the incline on the treadmill, and then you're working just muscular strength, so lower reps, higher weights, that kind of stuff. But I thrive off of power days because I am not an endurance person, and I love all the power. I love, you know what I mean, just sprinting and working in that manner, because I feel like I'm able to get more results. Because it is true HIIT training. I mean, every workout is HIIT training, but a power day is like a true HIIT workout, you know? So I like power days. If you ask my coworker, I was hoping she would do this with me so that you guys could ask her stuff, because she's a marathon runner. And she uses Orange Theory to help her with her pacing, so she thrives off of endurance days, obviously, and usually can run anywhere from 3 to 6 miles in a 24-minute period, which is, I think, insane, because I don't run that far. But she likes endurance days, and for that reason, because she's able to work on her pacing. So, yeah, but I like power days. Any other questions? Those are good questions. I like them. Oh, one thing about the workouts, you never know what the day is going to be. Even me as an employee, I don't know. The only people who know are the trainers, but we do that so that you can't start picking and choosing what day you want to go to, so that you continually get better in every aspect of fitness, and you're always changing. It's in muscle confusion. That's where that all comes into play. But yeah, so I never know when power days are, which sucks, but that's okay. Anyway, anyone else? Any specific questions?
What are some things you guys do to keep engagement? Like if
I couldn't hear you, I'm sorry.
What are some things you guys do to keep people engaged and coming back?
That's where our events come into play. So we partner with a lot of, like Flatwater Foundation, that was one we just did. And so we did like a month leading up to that, where we had all of our classes, we were raising money so people could donate. You don't have to, but people could donate. So sometimes we do like Burn Away Cancer, where every calorie that you burn goes towards a certain fundraiser or, you know, some kind of non-profit organization. For Halloween, we have Hell Week. And so there's usually 8 days of classes where they're significant, not like super hard where you're gonna like feel like you're gonna die, but they're harder than normal. And if you get through 6 out of 8 classes, then you get a t-shirt. Our weight loss challenges are other ways that we try to keep people engaged. Right around you know, Thanksgiving and those holidays, we'll have usually like a month challenge. Right now we have All Out for Bingo, and so this month every workout that you do, you can mark it off on a bingo board, and then whoever gets I think it's, you know, however you play bingo. I don't play bingo. But what, like 5 across or whatever, as soon as you get that many like across, then you win, and then you win a prize. And so we try to keep things going in that manner. We try not to go too long between events like that. Usually it's like a month or 2 at the most, but we usually always have something going on that people can work towards prize-wise. Every month we always have a refer and receive program. So we, like, if you bring in a friend, you get, this last one was a hydration pack. You know, those backpacks that go on, and then it has like a little spigot and you put water in it. We had those, so every friend that you referred and signed up, and you got the hydration pack. So we have different things, pretty much it feels like at all times, going to keep you motivated. We also partner with a lot of companies. So for our weight loss challenges, we'll always have a company that we work with where they offer more nutritional advice, and they'll, like, a lot of them will offer free in-body scans, which shows you your body composition, your percent of muscle, your percent of body fat, all that kind of stuff, the breakdown on how much you have in each arm, leg. And so sometimes we'll partner with companies in that way where you get the added benefit, you know, in that way. There's lots and lots of different stuff, I feel like, always going on, because we like to party at Orange Theory. Not really, but I mean, we try to make it exciting. We try to make it, you know, fun and engaging and all that kind of stuff, so you guys don't get bored. I mean, I get bored really easily. I think I have ADHD, I swear, but I'm not medicated. And so for me to still do the classes after 13, 14 months, I mean, that's saying something, because I have a very short attention span. So we keep it engaging. Any other questions? Perfect. Well, again, if you guys want to try a class, just send me a text. Gal has my information too, so you can always email or get it from him later. Thank you for letting me speak. I know it was kind of short, but if you have any other questions, you're welcome to reach out. I'm very open, so ask away if you want to know more. Other than that, if you guys don't have any more questions.
Yeah, we'll put your details on the meetup page too, so
perfect.
People can,
awesome.
Can find you.
Thank you.
Right.
Awesome.
Great, thank you.
Well, thank you guys for letting me share. Yeah.
Yeah, that's so that was Vida from Orange Theory. Put the details that I said on the meetup details if anybody wanna try it. Looks like fun. Next we're gonna have like a few minutes, and then Anthony is gonna speak.
I want to leave this up to you guys. Do you guys want me to just go right away so you guys can get out of here sooner, or? Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Go.
Cool. All right. Anthony. So I'm Anthony Apostol. Thank you. So I'm just a regular person. I don't work for a company or anything like that. I've actually joined these guys in November Project. I also belong to TMR ICE or TMIR CE, which is the most informal racing or running crew ever. That's what it actually stands for. I've played tons of sports, and I've been injured a ton. And this is where all this comes from. I played hockey in high school. I played football in high school. I wrestled. I did mixed martial arts. I've always had an injury. Ruptured tendons, broken bones. What I never realized was it's all about recovery. You can find things to do to work out. You can find places to go that'll help you with your eccentric, concentric loads, your endurance, your heart rate. But one thing that nobody ever focuses on is recovery, right? You can't build muscle if you don't let your bodies recover. You can't build endurance if you don't let the joints heal, let the fluids build up. So one of the things that I do every single day is I monitor my HRV, and this is where Quantified Self comes in, right? HRV stands for heart rate variability. Okay, I'm going to assume everybody knows what a heart monitor is. I'm going to assume everybody knows, when they can test where their heart rate's at when they're doing an exercise. What HRV will tell you is how much variance there is between each beat. Okay, if your body has this metronomic, tick, tick, tick to your heartbeat, that means your body is in an active state of recovery and it needs to rest. People think that if it's just this regular impulse or regular frequency and it's pulsing, that you're normal. You want a large amount of variability because that means your body's actually responding to every stressor that's coming to it. So heart rate variability, this is how where Quantified Self comes in, is every morning I test mine. Did I get good sleep? Did I eat good food yesterday? Did the workout I did yesterday allow me, or did that time that I slept allow me enough time to recover so I can go and do another exercise? That is one thing that I would say in today's fitness groups and fitness companies is nobody really takes that approach and says, okay, bust it in the gym, right? Do it in the gym, but then take a few days off until your body's fully recovered so when you go back, you can hit it harder. And if anyone else here has lifted weights, you know what that feels like when you hit a plateau, right? You bench press, you start getting these huge gains, you're starting to look at all your numbers, you're like, yeah, I'm doing it. Then all of a sudden, one day it's just the same thing, then another day you start to see a drop, you can't do as much. And then you're trying to get back, you're literally torn all that muscle, you're starting to create all that scar tissue, and your body's constantly trying to battle it. This is where heart rate variability will tell you that same day, that morning, hey, take it easy, don't work out, right?
You're talking about pulse?
It's your heart rate, yeah, your pulse, essentially. So between each pulse, there's going to be a amount of time that varies.
How do you monitor that?
So I'm going to put up the systems I use. Okay, I have an app on my phone called Elite HRV. Okay, and then the monitor is called Oahu. Polar makes one too, so if you want to use Polar, I'm trying to think, there's another brand that makes a pretty good one too, but Wahoo is the one that I use. I get up every morning, I put it on around my chest, I monitor it on my phone.
Have you heard of something called a live core?
No, I have not.
livecore.alavecor.com?
I have not.
They switched to cardio.
It uses your fingers, the device.
So everyone's going to have a degree of inaccuracy. Obviously, when you do it between your fingers, it's not going to be as accurate as if it's closer to your heart. Obviously, it's not going to be as accurate as if you actually get something into your heart, right? So I prefer the Wahoo app because you can actually use it on your workout. So let's say you want to go work out, you can measure heart rate, it actually stores it.
Do you need a separate device to go with the app, or you can monitor it?
Monitor it on your phone. The app's on your phone, you just need to buy a monitor.
Oh, you still have to buy a separate monitor?
Yeah, you have to. I mean, it's some sort of device that actually measures.
There's nothing on the phone that can do it or something?
From what I've heard, some phones you can actually put your finger on it and it'll measure, but it's
like
not very
Samsung
accurate.
has in the back of the phone. You
yeah,
can
the thumb,
put your
like the
fingers and it
fingerprint
can measure
one.
your oxygen and your heart rate.
But that's a special add-on, it's not just the screen or something.
No.
So the phone comes with it. The camera, the phone's camera can do it.
It's based on
the phone's
refractive
camera
and reflective
only does oxygen,
light
I believe,
through your skin. What he's describing is a device that actually measures galvanic skin response here, so it's going to be more accurate than something that's using
And what else will it monitor besides your pulse?
That's pretty much all I use it for. Because the app's going to actually measure the differences between each beat, and then it's going to start to aggregate that per minute. And then what I do is I test mine for 5 minutes every morning, and it tells me, okay, this is how many variances you've had on average during those 5 minutes. And then it create, over time, you start to aggregate more data. And then it'll actually tell you, okay, this is your baseline, right? This is where you are normally at. Everybody's going to be different. N equals 1 here. Like, my resting heart rate's going to be different than yours. It's going to be different than yours. My age factors into what my target heart rate can be.
What do these attachments cost?
I believe the Wahoo one, I think, is like, I bought mine for $35 on sale. So they're not expensive a lot at all.
And this one that's on the phone, can you download an app to a different brand phone?
This Elite HRV is free.
And that works with the phone?
It's an app you can download on your phone, yeah.
And it can monitor it just through the camera, or what?
So Bluetooth?
It's Bluetooth. Yeah, I'm sorry, it's Bluetooth connectivity. You need a Bluetooth connectivity.
Yes.
It's built into the phone. So you would just connect it. It would say, would you like to connect this device? And then it'll connect.
Okay, but it's a separate external device that you have to go out and buy.
The Wahoo app, or the Wahoo strap, yes, for $35 you have to purchase, correct.
And will it monitor anything besides your heart?
Not that I've seen, no. They have other products, but not the one that I get, no.
And the app will send it off to, let's say somebody has issues, it can send it off to a monitor or something to,
I mean, it's a $35.
to the doctor or something like that to monitor or something?
No, it doesn't do EKG or it doesn't. It just measures the variability. That's it. It's just like a measure of.
It's just like any HRM.
Is that better than just?
It's a little more accurate the closer you get to your heart. I mean, it's not necessarily better. I mean, if this is more convenient for you to actually start to quantify data, then get that. But I prefer the one that goes around the chest. That's the one that actually works best for me. If other people find that other heart rate monitors work better for them, use those. I'm just giving you the two that I use. There's a, I mean, there's a,
But you don't need any devices, you can just put your...
Well, it's not pulse, it's not beats over a period of time.
It's exact time between each beat.
Yes.
Right.
And so that's what I'm saying. So like, one of the things that our bodies like to do is they like to be balanced. So if you just kind of imagine a metronome, and it could be here, or it could be here, it wants to be here, right? So it's going to do whatever it has to push it that way, or whatever it has to do to push it this way. So there's a parasympathetic and the sympathetic nervous system, so rest and digest versus fight or flight. The body's going to tell you if you are too, let's say you're too sore, right? The sympathetic is still active. It's going to tell you, okay, you're leaning towards the sympathetic nervous system, you're rating out of 6 today, take it easy, right? And then you would wait a day, the next day you test again. Normally you should see it go up. Sometimes it'll shift all the way over because you might have done something else, like you got sick, or because your immune system was down, you contracted a cold or something like that, it will shift all the way over. Maybe you ate some food that didn't agree with you. So this is what I'm saying, like, there's a quantified self group, so it's all about gathering that data to figure out the best thing for your own experiment. So again, N equals 1. The HRV will tell you a good number to start looking at how you recover.
So you put this thing on first thing in the morning, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then for the next 5 minutes, are you like brushing your teeth and making breakfast, or are you just laying there in bed?
I do, so there's 5 different ways you can do it, right? So I lay in bed. You can sit down and do it. You can stand and do it. You can move around. It actually gives that one. It actually gives you one where you can run. So it's preferable to do it laying down because you're not creating any additional stressors, and you should actually meditate while you're doing it. So sometimes I kill 2 birds with 1 stone, so that my body is actually not connected to other thoughts and stressors where I can actually see where my body's at.
And this Elite HRV app, can you export the data out of there? Like,
oh, it's awesome.
Okay.
Yes, you absolutely. And it actually has a bar graph in there, or yeah, it's got a bar graph in there built in for you. I don't ever use it, but it's also got kind of that metronome style scale that tells you what you are for the day. And there's a couple other things too if you really want to get into the science of it. So they really do support trying to educate their public on what an HRV score can actually do for you. Elliot, you were gonna have something?
Yeah, maybe it says it here in the app. Do you have to do it at the same time each day?
I would recommend doing it at the same time each day. I don't want to say the same, like set an alarm that says 6 a.m. every day. Every moment, or the first thing you do when you get up, put it on, measure yourself. It'll literally take you 5 minutes out of your day. You do this, and I guarantee you, it'll start to create a foundation for how your workouts are going to be. If you know, like, you can even, sometimes I play around, I can guess what my HRV score is going to be the next day. I'm like, I ate like crap the entire day. I overdid it because it was like 99 degrees outside, and I decided to go running. And, you know, I just slept for like 5 hours. I know I'm going to my tank's just emptied. I have nothing left. And sure enough, it confirms.
How long did it take you for the thing to normalize to you?
So it's going to get better and better over time, but it needs at least 3 readings. So it's going to use 3 readings as an average, and then it starts to...
And those 3 readings should be like you not doing much during the day?
Yeah, that's why I'm saying, like, you do it first thing in the morning. So as soon as you wake up, I would do it. That's my recommendation.
I mean, but does that mean you don't work out the 3 days beforehand so that gets a normal like pace?
Yeah, I would recommend doing that so you can kind of see where it's at, and then go ahead and do a workout on that 4th day, see what it does. And it should shift over towards the sympathetic side that next day, where you see kind of like wherever you're at. Let's say the first reading says you're an 8 on the parasympathetic side. It'll show a shift over to the other side. So it's pretty cool. I mean, I enjoy it.
So the traditional problems with using heart rate training zones with a heart rate monitor was it didn't factor in dehydration, insufficient recovery, diet. Have you found, does the modeling on an HRV do a better job of, like, does it even go as far as suggesting drink more water, get more sleep? Okay.
No. But if you understand your parasympathetic, sympathetic nervous system, it should be a guideline, like as a trigger to say, okay, what did I do yesterday? Now what's cool is you can actually put metadata in there if you want to and say, ate like shit yesterday.
Okay.
Slept like shit yesterday.
Didn't drink enough water.
Yeah, exactly. And then that way you can actually go back and say, oh, that's kind of why these days really sucked, right? Cool. So yeah, I mean, it's all about being quantified, the quantified self, right? Like I like to think of biohacking things. I like to think about looking at this data to say, how can I improve my life without having to think too much about it, right? Mm-hmm. Just put it in the app and I just follow what it says, and then it's like, all right, then I go to the gym, go balls to the wall, go for a run. This time I'm gonna take it easy, I'm gonna go for a walk, so.
So have you, this question might not even be phrased properly, have you improved your score over time?
There is no, so
or
you
is
can
it
only get a
relative
perfect
enough that
10.
that's not an appropriate question?
You can only get a perfect 10,
self-adjusting,
right? 10 means you're at homeostasis. You're like, your body's ready to go, right? You can be at a 9 or an 8 in either direction, and you'll still be good, right? 80 to 90% is still pretty good. But you'll probably notice a drop off in extreme high performance.
So the score on your app is like -1.
It literally goes down to 0, and I think the lowest score I've ever gotten was a 4.
Okay, so over time, as you've probably made other changes in your life, or at least been more consistent with those things, have you seen the likelihood that you'll hit a 10 or something in that neighborhood go up? Does that happen more
I will have more
frequently
10s in a row. Yeah, like I'll be like, I know when to stop when I work out now, because like sometimes like I'll just keep going because I feel good, but it is so like the next morning I'm just wrecked because my body's still recovering and no amount of food is going to help, no amount of stretching or rolling helps. My body's just tore up and it's constantly trying to rebuild itself. So the tank's empty, give it time to refill. That's basically what this app's going to tell you.
And you've been talking consistently about what you do today and seeing the difference tomorrow morning when you wake up. Have you noticed any impact or causal effect beyond this 12-hour time frame that I'm hearing here? Like, can you tell 2 days?
I don't know if I can forecast 2 days ahead.
Like, I did that 2 days ago.
Oh, back, yeah,
So
absolutely.
that's why my score is whatever it is this morning, because I did
Absolutely.
something.
Yeah, you start to build kind of like this understanding of how your pool gets depleted and replenished. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I could be in the middle of a workout and I know, okay, if I hit it really hard, like one of their classes was pretty rough one day. It was like I was just dying, right? And I'm not an endurance person. Like, I can do short sprints, right? 100-yard sprints. I'll do that, right? But we had to run around the Capitol and then do body weight stuff. The body weight stuff I was fine with. And then the run, I was like, shoot me, right? I knew that night, like, I just needed to get some sleep. I needed to kind of take it easy, not stress about anything. I knew what my score was going to be the next day, but the following day I shouldn't do anything either because my body was still in a state of recovery. Then I kind of had a feeling that I'd be okay that following day to go and do something. And sure enough, I got the confirmation, so I was like, let's go.
I'm trying to understand this calculation. How does it work? So you're saying that the more you need to recover, the bigger the variance is? Or
No, the smaller the variance means the more you need to recover.
So the more stable your heartbeat is, the more you need to recover?
Yes, because your body's literally trying to, your body's literally trying to keep up with the demand. So it can only go so fast, right? When you have the variability, what your heart's doing is like, okay, here's a little stressor, okay, now I can relax. And then here's a stressor. I mean, it happens in milliseconds, but if the more variability you have, the more you have in your tank. That's just the best way I can explain it.
So in other words, every move of your hand can increase your heartbeat in milliseconds. So how accurate is it? I mean, I don't know anything about it, but it just sounds like there are so many other parameters that can affect this.
I think that's why you want to do it in the morning, because you're trying to eliminate all the variables that you can, right?
That's exactly right. So yes, I mean, you can create more variables if you want. But what I'm trying to say is, like, that's why you want to pick either right before you go to bed. You know, like, you go lay down or whatever, you sit down. Like, if you're a type of person who wakes up, has coffee and reads a book in the morning, when you start to do that, sit down, you have your coffee's ready, your book's ready, do the measurement while you're reading and sipping your coffee. I mean, that's fine. But just make sure that those variables are consistent every single time. Because yes, if I decided to just stand up, it's going to alter it because my body's adapting to a much larger stressor rather than just laying there, my heart just beating and recovering, right? So that's why I'm saying it's a very, very sensitive measurement, but if you do it, promise you're gonna start seeing a lot of predictability over time of like how you actually feel with how much gas you have in the tank.
All right. And I have another question. Does it have any meaning while I'm doing sport? Like if let's say I'm running, so I mean it can be measured right away, right? Also.
There's so if you want to
assume something about like my ability to continue further more, or should I stop now? While I'm running, or?
So that's a great question. There's actually several athletes that are doing a lot of biohacking, like they're actually cutting muscle out to measure how much of an impact that is. And Primal Endurance is the best book I could recommend if you just want to take a gander at that. Mark Sisson and Brad Kearns, they were all endurance athletes. They actually talk about how HRV during a stressful activity can impact how far you can go based on fat metabolism. So that's a totally different topic. I mean, we can dig into that, and you know, if you want to do that, I highly recommend this book. You can, if you read it and have a chance to absorb what they're talking about. I think that's more the route you're talking about with multiple stressors happening to your body. What can it actually handle? That's more that route. The HRV just tells you what's in the gas tank.
What was that book called?
Primal Endurance. Yeah, it's by Mark Sisson. You haven't read it on the board?
No, I think I got it.
No other questions? Yeah.
Yeah, I just found something on PubMed, and it says, you know, there's a correlation between HRV and executive cognitive performance. Could you wear that strap throughout, you know, all day, and just kind of compare day?
You're gonna be going through batteries like crazy, but sure. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like HRV, it's been around a long time, but nobody really paid much attention to it. And now that they're starting to realize that there is a lot of correlations across, many physical and biochemical changes in the body, they're starting to say, okay, there's something to this HRV thing. We've got to figure out what it is. And a lot of guys have just kind of taken data and said, hey, look, this is happening consistently across the board, for all these people. I mean, unless they literally have intravenous measuring tools and follow these people for 30 years, you're never going to know, but they have the data now. So it's, for $35, for me, when somebody introduced this to me and said, hey, just try it for 4 days, it's a $35 investment. You can go blow that in a couple drinks if you wanted to go out, but this will actually help you become a better quantified self. So
I was looking at the Wahoo website. They have two devices. One has memory,
yes.
And their prices are listed like $80 and $60.
Okay.
$80 is the one with the memory.
Yeah.
So which device?
I don't have mine on memory, but I bought mine a long time ago, so I got it on sale for $35. Typically, if you go on Amazon or something like that, you can probably find it cheaper, but yeah, I'm surprised it's $60 now. I don't know what it is.
And to dovetail the two presentations together, the two primary protocols for those devices talking to like your phone are Bluetooth or something called ANT Plus.
Yes.
And the Orange Theory products as well as the Wahoos do both. So you could join Orange Theory and buy their products. They have a chest strap similar to Wahoo or a wrist strap that uses a slightly different type of sensor. But you want to look for something with that protocol, either Bluetooth or ANT Plus.
But is there one I can, since I haven't been the Samsung phone, it's a different brand, but is there one I can download that I can just put my finger in front of the camera or the screen and it'll do that? So
what Samsung phone do you have?
No, this is a Sony and LG.
I don't know. It's a good question. This has the light sensor built in. It's a S7 Galaxy. So
separate from the camera.
No, it uses the flash from the camera.
The flash is light that bounces off your blood.
But you don't know of an app that'll do that, did you?
So I have not heard of any apps that can actually measure HRV through the phone. So I have not heard of any of those. That's why the external monitor.
I think the galvanic
what the phone measures
is more accurate.
What the phone measures is just the number of
yeah, exactly.
HRV is the between two pulses. What's the distance between them and how the distance varies?
There's a lot more fidelity in the data.
Yeah.
The data that this exports,
accurate.
is it the actual variance between each beat, or is it just
there's so many things that are in there.
Because so many of these things, that's the problem they have like with Fitbit and so forth. They say they give you all the data, but they don't.
No,
they give you the results of the data, which is not at all what I want.
Right,
right. So.
I have never exported it myself. I just kind of left it in there because for what I needed for it, everything's already in a nice little summarization for each day, and then you can actually look at a weekly total and a monthly total. Okay. So I never took it beyond that, but.
So another question.
Sure.
Like that.
You're talking about recovery.
Yeah.
And using HRV to find out how much you need to recover. Have you noticed correlation between what you eat? Nutrition, how it impacts the recovery.
I think the biggest road to my recoveries, and I've noticed this every time I came out of the hospital or every time I came out of physical therapy, sleep and food were the two most important things aside from movement. You want to keep moving things around, but you obviously don't want to. You break a leg, you don't want to bear weight on it. You just kind of want to go through the therapy as it goes. But the better I ate and the more I slept, or I should say, the better I slept. If I went to bed 9:30, 10 o'clock, as opposed to midnight, 12:30, and then getting up at 6 a.m. versus kind of sleeping in, even though you're just kind of tossing and turning in bed all day, that quality of sleep, that affects it, right? So I have noticed all of those things. And sometimes I'm like, all right, I got some good sleep, and then it's telling me something that didn't make sense. And I'm like, all right, why am I feeling this way? And I'll remember, oh yeah, yesterday my friends and I had a burger at that one place, and we had a bucket of fries, and it's like, it just never ended. We were just watching a football game, just eating the worst food possible. Even though I slept really well, my body's actually recovering from the food, that I've eaten, not actually muscle issues.
Isn't it quality of sleep even more than quantity of sleep? People don't sleep a lot, but when they do sleep, they sleep well, or they power nap.
Yeah.
Or people who sleep a lot.
Yeah.
don't seem to benefit from.
Well, there are some studies now that they are looking at circadian rhythm, and I can't remember what the glandular rhythm is, because your circadian rhythm has to do with light, blue light specifically, but your intestines, your bacteria, everything else has a different rhythm to it. And it's only because artificial light, we forced ourselves to advance our circadian rhythm. So melatonin is getting released a little bit later. Serotonin is, HGH and testosterone is not even being introduced into the body, which is hugely detrimental to any type of recovery. I mean, if you don't get HGH and testosterone, forget it. You're not going to recover from a workout.
And that's not just, that's from regular lights too. It's not just from this, but just to mention, there are apps for most all these devices. I know for Android and Apple, that will take care of the blue light problem.
I'm wondering, so I know Fitbit has 2 sleep modes that tells you when you go to sleep and wake up, and it's a little bit bogus, but it's about right. But on their sensitive mode, it tells you that you get 3 or 4 hours of sleep in 7. Is that using heart rate variability? Do you know? I've always wondered about that.
Motion sensor.
So the last
simply motion, okay.
Quantified Self meetup I came to about 2 years ago was on that topic, and basically everything that's commercially available now is movement based, which isn't really super accurate.
No.
You need a formal. There was a doctor in attendance who did research on this, and basically, if you've ever been to a sleep study in a medical environment, they use EKG, ECG, until they can monitor what's happening in your brain while you're sleeping.
Well, the interesting thing is they correlated statistically, I think, ones that just use your pulse and oxygenation to give the same information. So they don't know your dream state, but they know just about everything else.
So they have the largest data set in the world. They're Fitbit.
Okay.
Fitbit and who are the people that are going out of business slowly? Jawbone.
Yeah, they went out of business.
Really? Wow. That's appropriate for the group. Their sleep analysis was outsourced to a third-party company that did that for multiple data sets. So if you think of every Fitbit and every Jawbone, everything else in the world, they had all that data. And they were able to mine it enough that now, like Fitbit has that. Tells you if you're in REM or not. Well, they don't know if you're in REM because
sample size.
It's not EEG.
Yeah.
And they think that you might be.
Yeah. It's like the Google flu search.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So there's some.
There is a device from Ireland that touch a band around your.
Well, that's one of the first Quantified Self things that went out of business. The Neo, I think it was a long time ago. And I had one of those. It was great.
So I've actually done a sleep study. I had sleep apnea for most of my life. I used to wake up 700 plus times every night. And so actually understanding the body and how the chemicals in your body work, I've been able to get off of a CPAP machine. I still kind of wake up every now and again, but my quality of sleep is just, I don't even need the help of a machine. I just need to get to bed early. The later I get to bed, the harder it is for me to sleep. And yeah, I'm asleep, but I'm not getting that deep, restful sleep. So that's why I can tell. If I've eaten really well, I've done all the other things in that day, even if it was a recovery day, if I don't sleep well, it verifies every single time. Sometimes I try and trick it by meditating and doing deeper breathing. It still figures it out. So I'm like...
Is there an EEG, or which one's the brain and one's the heart, right?
Yeah.
EEG and EKG.
EKG is heart and EEG is
brain. Is there an app that can do that?
You need hardware for those.
Yeah.
That's pricey.
Those are usually very expensive tests, I think, if you go to a doctor.
Yeah, those are
not a do-it-yourself version?
No, well, there are some hacks for it. You can find, you make your own EEG or EKG. But,
ooh, DIY, huh?
That's
There's a medical grade consumer one that's about $600. It's called the.
I
forget.
The Muse?
No, not the Muse. It's something else. I can look it up. But there's a store called Beta at the Domain, where you can go and try out a lot of these products.
Oh, okay.
B8 TA, and I did the
Where are they there?
Yeah.
That's the big store, Apple.
You mentioned something earlier about fat metabolism being a factor.
No, so he was asking like, or he was asking about workouts, and then he asked about the book Primal Endurance. So Mark Sisson and Brad Kearns, these guys are endurance athletes, and they wanted to do things. And Ben Greenfield's another guy if you guys want to follow. They're endurance athletes that believe in training your body to metabolize fat as fuel, like humans have evolved to do, rather than sugar burners. So they don't run marathons, ultra marathons, triathlons without supplementing with goo or anything like that. And people thought they were crazy that they wouldn't be able to do it. They did it. So Primal Endurance will tell you how to use HRV so you can train yourself to metabolize fat as a fuel rather than triggering a response to sugar burning. And that's by basically saying, okay, your heart rate is, we'll say kind of the typical thing is 220 minus 40. You want to go like 60% of that. So whatever that number is, you run at 60% of that. Sometimes if you're starting out, you'll notice you'll run maybe like 20 feet and your heart will start to spike. So what they train is like, okay, you take a couple of steps at that rate of speed, and then you walk, and then you take a couple of steps, and then over time you'll be able to take more steps, and then over time you'll be able to actually keep a run going for a little bit. It might take months. For one guy, they said it took him a year to get there. So if you guys are patient enough, and you guys are totally digging the data, you can actually start to measure that stuff with some apps. I don't know of any good ones that are free. Most of them are paid apps, but they'll tell you there's a black hole between sugar burning and fat metabolism. So like football, or let's say like a football running back, right? They sprint a lot. So they're also carrying a load anytime they're about to get tackled. So that's going to require a lot of sugar burning as opposed to fat metabolism. But there's a lot of rest before they're asked to do it again and again and again and again. When you're doing endurance running, you're pretty much go, 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 go. So you have to tap into a different fuel source. And that's kind of what that entire book is about. I recommend getting it on Audible because it's just, you can just drive and listen to it or just throw your headphones on. And I mean, you don't really need to read that data because what they're explaining, you can actually start figuring it out really quickly.
Yeah, they also have a podcast, those guys.
That's right, yeah.
What's it called?
Primal Endurance.
The podcast is it called Primal Endurance?
Well,
yes,
I think, yeah.
Okay.
I think if you go, see, because Mark Sisson is also the owner of Primal Blueprint and Primal Kitchen. So like he's got a food-based food products. He's got kind of like a whole philosophy on lifestyle. And then he used to be an ultra endurance athlete in the past and kind of changed his whole lifestyle. So he wrote about it, and then he started doing these things. So the foods are available at Whole Foods. They're actually pretty decent. And then him and Brad Kearns got together to write about Primal Endurance since HRV has been really, really popular. And then they started experimenting on themselves. They started asking other guys to do it. And the book actually talks about the results of a lot of the things that they found.
So what makes one of these HRP monitors better than another other than battery life?
To be honest with you, I mean, all of them tout high accuracy, but if you actually go and take a look at the actual mechanics of it, unless you're literally going to put two nodes directly into the heart, anything is going to be less accurate than that. So the closer you can get to your heart, the more accurate you can get is the only thing I can tell you. But
the accuracy is really the same throughout. The difference is the further away you get more noise that can affect the signal.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like a CD, buying a cheap CD versus an expensive one. They're digital, they put out the same thing. Yeah. It's just the interference you get.
Yep. Yeah, so I mean, that's what I'm saying.
We
Like,
can discuss that part afterwards, but regarding HRV, there is meditation. It's not for exercise, but for meditation. That use HRV sensor, that's the heart map.
yes,
website.
yes, heart map. Yep.
It's not cheap, it's almost $200 to get the sensor. And that use light, so you can clip anywhere or just touch. can have an adapter for the phone, or you can have a standalone device, or a sensor for the computer. And you can train yourself to, by breathing according to a given rhythm, and then you can calm yourself, and the HRV gives you instant feedback if you're actually relaxing or not.
Okay.
You can see.
So you can actually do that with this app too, just take multiple readings. I literally played around with it. I took 3 readings at one time, where one I was sitting down, or first I started laying down, then I sat up, and then the next time I actually sat down into child's pose and just breathed, focus on breathing, right? And I mean, it was better than my laying down score. I mean, it was just a huge difference, because deep breathing actually activates the parasympathetic nervous system. And during that time, I guess I was just at a point where I was fairly, during a fairly high recovery phase. So it did factor into just purely breathing to help me out.
A little confused at this point. Will any standard heart rate monitor work with the HRV app, or do you need a heart rate monitor specific for measuring HRV? Any heart rate. Okay.
So I have the Garmin one, and it only has ANT. It doesn't have the Bluetooth, so you want
that's right. You want the Bluetooth. Yep. It has that Bluetooth.
I think Wahoo does both. The Orange Theory ones do both. Probably anything. Garmin created ANT, so that makes sense.
Yeah. If any heart rate monitor thing works, can we just use like a smartwatch with
Well,
the heart rate monitor?
That's what we were all talking about as far as the accuracy. The farther away you get,
Well, then put it to your heart.
Yeah, the optical ones are not.
It's hard to.
It's going through your capillary, so it's a little.
Yeah.
It's going to like low pass filter the data basically if you do a pulse.
And we're talking about minute variances, so you want to get something as accurate as possible. That's why having the actual sensors right here as opposed to the sensor right here.
So regarding the sensor, the problem with the watch and the band is that, as compared to the one that
the chest strap
is in contact, here you will use something that is mechanically attached well to it. The watch plays a role.
And the pads are
What
like
if you
this
just
big.
take your watch over here?
Well, it's the question is
think
the
it's
sensor
actual technology
designed to measure,
Yeah.
and the amplifier can filter the noise.
It'll probably give you 90%.
Regarding the optical stuff, I went to a presentation by one of the semiconductor companies, and they had a company that makes the sensor. They make the sensor that go on the Fitbit and all of that stuff. And one of the questions was, can this stuff measure HRV? Because that's the key question, key feature. And they told me that most of them do not, and they were working on one LED, laser, whatever, with a specific color. By the way, the color of the thing depends on the color of your skin as well. So depending what is the color, you have to use different LEDs. It's complicated. But they were working on it, and at least a year ago, they told me that there will be one of these companies, but so many are just going chapter 11 that they have no idea.
Well, it's hard to do it optically. That's the problem.
Yeah. It's very much more difficult.
Yeah,
the
because you're trying to measure blood flow
much
going
easier.
through there and the expansion of the vessel. It's a lot harder to do than just capacitance. That's why I think it's like 97% accurate if you do it over your heart here. So I'll take a 3%, tolerance.
Versus going invasively.
Yeah, exactly. Just 2 wires in there. All right, no more questions? All right, thanks guys.
Thank you, that was great.
Well, thanks for coming.
Thank you.
So I was just looking on Amazon.
Yeah, thank you. I got
Yeah,
to
no
rush.
problem.
I'm a
Nice
little
to meet
late.
you.
Yeah, see you
My bad.
next
A $35 one.
Yeah, see, there you go.
$79 with memory. I don't know why this is $45.
You know you have
that's pretty much money.
after 6 o'clock.
That's
Take care.
there's one sale.
This one is not particular.
So I don't know, like I got mine, like I said, I don't know.
Is there anything else you do to help me
Yes, so like HRV is just, again, it's just to tell you what you do
kind of work.
Right, so like, you get up in the morning, okay, how much do I need today? But like, I roll, but I don't do it like I just want to say, just grind into it. You should be meditating. You should feel a little bit of the pressure, but you should feel good when you roll. It's like giving yourself a self-massage. You should feel relief. And that's huge. Deep breathing. So here's a problem. They teach you to breathe. It's all, everybody's like, oh, you know, you want to deep inhale. That's a stressor. Why not do this? You didn't even have time to slow down. That's right. Also, it's to squeeze the diaphragm. So what happens is you get a natural vacuum. It's hard. It's a lot easier to hold it in and just relax. Yeah, that's also to create the oxygen and CO2 change. So if you do those three things, it should take you 15 minutes. I'm telling you,
I think that's very simple.
I'm telling you, they're easy to find. Find out your big the recovery is when you actually like most important strong. You know, I would just recommend doing genetic testing. What is the best muscle type that so like I'm a sprinter. Actually, the best
I dabbled, but
I was thinking of doing that.
It's one of the stuff.
I know that there's specific fitness.
But if you do have a trainee, if you pay just $100, it's only the anthropological. On the health related, you have to pay the $200. Then you get, oh, you're a sprinter, or this, or test the metabolizer, or talk to somebody.
I've done it for so long. I did it.
Situation where I
paid $100 and included everything.
Yeah, exactly. So he probably got it just a little bit of
So what else are you doing right now that's cheaper so I can get on board?
But then it's not just interesting for the anthropological stuff. You get the DNA and you can, even if you pay just $100,
interesting stuff.
get the DNA analysis, you can upload the DNA information to all the websites that give you the health. Some for free and some you pay. The most important
Because I've only seen the ones where you pay, like fitness jeans or something, fitness Gina.
Yeah, the started gene is the best for 40 bucks. Strategy gene. Strategic.
Oh, strategy
gene. That's the most for the health stuff. It looks to see your
when like this it doesn't matter if it's it doesn't matter if it's
it's a single word.
Well, it's like a signal. It could be a noise and right. So I don't really want it because
as a doctor that is doing still research, you pay $45 and looks into the most important variations on your DNA and tells you all the methods, how you process stuff. For example, I found out mine that I have difficulty with methylation, which is a common problem, and there are degrees how bad it is. And so you have things you have to including how to build muscles and exercise. It's related to it. But I found other stuff, for example, that you know the omega-3 oil that are important. That you can get that let's say from flaxseed or from fish. And it says no. For you, flaxseed doesn't work. You don't have the enzyme that will take the flaxseed and make one of the DHA that you need. So you must get the fish. So you know right there that you don't waste money on flaxseed. You just get the fish oil right there. Or the other thing came out was you can eat as many carrots that you wish, but you cannot process the beta carotene and make vitamin A. You have to get liver with vitamin A. It has to be animal cells, not vegetables. So, okay, good, I don't have to eat carrots anymore.
And it's all in the report?
Different report. It's not a report from that's the strategy and the other. So the problem with that strategy, because it selects the things that are most based on scientific results. The problem with genes is down to many. There's too much information. You can go crazy over there and not find it. So what's really important? So strategy, and you pay $40 bucks. It's much more, and they have a discussion group, and say, you know, I'm doing this, I have this gene, blah, blah, on Facebook.
And so I should do a 23andMe first, get the data.
For $100 bucks, and you have to spend the time.
Right. There's a rhythm.
Yes, and there is
other things that I've had debates with people, experts.
Do some search, there's a bunch, but I like the strategy. It has also lots of video presentations explaining.
What other ones have you
if you have this gene, blah, blah, and it's complex, it's not, because, you know, you're processing stuff, there is a bunch of crap that has to work all together. So if you don't have, for example, people say, oh, I don't have vitamin B12, and, well, there are 4 types of vitamin B12. Which one you can actually process and use?
Did your family members do it too? Do you think it's the same? Like if I do it, can I tell my mom stuff that I have?
Well, ideally you will get your relatives to do it too, and then you can see how, because there are things that don't go to the next generation and skip, there are things that come, you know. I think it's important, if you still have your parents alive, get them to do the 23andMe, because it's important information for you. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. When I realized my parents were not alive anymore, so I couldn't get them, you know. So I have me, and by the way, if there are other people that are actually related to the did that, the 23andMe will show a list.
Really?
Yes. Right. It's called DNA relatives, not necessarily two relatives.
Yeah.
I found 2.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
What other ones have you used? You said you used a bunch.
Cool.
Hopefully I helped you out.
Yeah, definitely. Got me thinking of
Send an email.
Oh, okay, sure, yeah. He said he did like a lot of different fitness gene tests.
Yeah. I like 23andMe only because it's concise. It's
the test itself, I only did 23andMe.
Oh, okay, but
I upload in different websites to see,
cool, yeah.
and there is at least 2 of them that are very strong in medical information. One is the strategy, which is the best. It's the best because it's very restricted to things that have a lot of scientific research and don't bombard you with a million things that you can figure out how to go on.
So if you do the 23andMe and then you go online, just because what's really cool is if you find out which one's mutated, there's a website for that, purely on that. Well, 23andMe is first do that, right? Because you download the data. I don't know what gene's mutated. But every single website has a specific thing about if your gene is mutated on this one, upload your entire genome onto it, and what it'll do is it'll actually say, okay, just because it's mutated doesn't necessarily mean you're predisposed to breast cancer, right? It just means that you're highly sensitive to, and here's research. So that's what's really cool about 23andMe.
I can forward this one to this because I sent somebody.
Methylation, yes, that one's good too.
For example, the first one is the strategy.
Okay.
Then there is the Dr. Apostol. She does a lot of work for the DNA analysis to help people with autism and stuff like that, but it also applies to everybody. And she has a free book that you can download and study.
Do you think you can send it?
I can send to you if you want to forward.
have the right formula.
You just have to put your email.
All right, I'm gonna get going unless you have any questions. Do you have any questions?
No, just giving piece of information.
Yeah, no, that's great. That's great. I mean, that's what we're all here for, right?
What is your name?
Sergio.
Sergio? Okay. Hi, Joe.
Hi.
Nice to meet you.
Ready?
So from which country is the name Aija?
Do you speak Russian?
No.
No?
I speak Portuguese.
Portuguese? Oh.
Brazilian Portuguese.
Oh, wow. It's a beautiful language. I'm from Kyrgyzstan, actually.
Okay. I'm from Brazil, but all my grandparents and all the DNA came from Poland.
Oh.
So I'm essentially just born in Brazil, but Polish.
In Portuguese is a beautiful language. One day I will learn.
And by the way, a lot of people hear me speaking any language think that I'm Russian. Because there are some sounds in Portuguese that are similar to sounds in Russian. And they, oh, it sounds similar.
That's why she thought
That's why I was like, I wonder if he's like from Ukraine or maybe
no, it's
or
from
somewhere.
Brazil, and it's a common thing, and I learned that.
That is true. Now that you tell me about it, now I'm like, oh yeah.
I would have never guessed. That would have been like Russian.
Well, that was my first, and
it's even more complicated because for many years I was living in Israel.
Oh
wow! Okay.
And over there you have like a 50 language.
Oh wow!
But there's a lot of Russians, so people that came from the Soviet Union when the wall.
That's true.
Yeah, they all ran away, spread out.
And no, I'm not kidding. It's like in a couple of years, the population of Israel went up by 10 to 15%, mostly from Soviet Union, and it's an unofficial official language to speak Russian in Israel. To the point that you go to the grocery store and have food.
You want to join us? What's up there? You want to join us at the bar?
Sure. You can get plastic. But the point is that Gal also is from Israel, so he knows that you go to the grocery store, you have Hebrew, Arabic, English, Russian.
I know so many languages.
Because hey, it's a big population, they buy stuff.
That's true.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, well, it also depends, like, where you go. I went to some parts of Israel where people speak Russian to me, as if I can speak Russian.
They always speak Russian to me in every gas station. Because they think I'm Russian, they speak Russian to me, and they get pissed if I don't answer in Russian. And I have to explain I'm not
Because I was thinking,
Russian.
I'm like, are you from around there? He's like, no, actually.
Yeah, it's answer in Portuguese.
What, you're not Russian?
Ciao. I
said
ciao.
What?
Ciao.
Oh, I used to know a couple of words.
Let me find
How do
where
you,
it is.
what other words? How do you say
I've never heard of
Bye.
You know, a lot of people have.
There are many. You can say ciao.
ciao?
You can say até logo. Até logo is
Obrigado.
obrigado is thank you.
Obrigado.
Muito obrigado is thank you very much.
No. So when I actually
Depends. By the way, even Brazilian Portuguese is different from north to south.
Oh, okay.
I was reading about the Brazilian dictionary. More than 500,000 words. You use about 2,000 a day. But why it has 500,000 words? Because it has words from Arabic, from African languages, from local Indian languages, from Portuguese and Spanish and French.
That is true.
It's huge.
I think it's a beautiful language.
It's actually sometimes very correlated with English. Amazing enough. Africans and many words. Portuguese that just change the ending and it becomes like an English.
So just like that.
So it's
Yeah. But it's so
confusing.
when you hear it. Yeah.
I
have a friend who's like,
the north of Brazil sounds much better than the south. I'm from the south, so you know.
Why do you say
Air
the north
here
sounds?
and-
Why do you say the
So
north
yesterday I
south?
went
Because it's more like singing.
funny feeling.
Very nice.
And I
From Rio de Janeiro, lá.
yesterday. And that's how I know.
Because Rio is, well, Brazil is very huge, but
Rio
Rio
is like in the middle, in the sense, if you look at the ocean side,
yeah.
you can say that's the division between south and north. Economically, culturally. But Brazil was discovered by the
That day
Portuguese,
right there, I
and when
worked
they
out,
came in, they came on the north.
the day before this.
Then later on, so the whole south is a lot of Europeans.
Even though
You
same
know,
person, that I.
immigration came later. Not the Portuguese, more like the Germans, the Italians, the Polish.
Yeah, it seems like very different.
São Paulo, which is a state just below Rio de Janeiro, has the largest amount of Japanese outside. And they came in the 1950s. The Japanese. It was very funny. Because I was at work in Japan, talking from work, and on the weekend I went to this big store for all the electronics.
Each time you were eating a hamburger,
And they have like, you know, the stores with all the electronics, every floor different. There is a floor for tourists. There is electronics with the right voltage and the books in English, very small, not in German. She had the strap in English backwards.
Yeah, I wasn't paying attention. No, I'm saying, that could also.
We're going to Eureka. Yeah, it's like 500 feet away.
I don't see any other foreign there. It's Japanese.
English words.
Yeah, Japanese people. So they're like much smaller, you know. And it's only two older ladies. And then
so the whole thing is
the guy that works at the store trying to speak Japanese with the two others. They didn't understand anything. They were Japanese, but they look like Japanese. The guy told me I'm Japanese.
But that is so cool, you know. You just, because we assume, you know, you're like, oh, you're Asian, you're Japanese, you're probably.
Holy shit, I did something.
Yeah, when you go to Japan, I stand out.
Yeah.
The numbers will actually.
I remember traveling on
How do you
the subway,
avoid
the train,
constipation?
all the things, all the
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes I score
giant in the
way I feel.
middle. It's very
Sometimes I
strange.
score higher than.
I was in Israel and at the time, travel to Tokyo was easier to fly with Scandinavian Airlines to Denmark,
Because the tolerance is 3%.
Copenhagen, and then change planes and take the one to Tokyo. Okay. So to fly to Copenhagen and get out, I have to look up because they're very tall. Then I get into plane, I get into Japan, I have to look down because they're.
I wonder if it correlates to gut biome.
Sure. Like Scandinavia.
Gut biome. I got to go, I eat a lot of probiotic yogurt.
We just had some kind of
Things that affect bacteria in your gut, they say has a huge effect on your body and your brain.
Because it sends
Netherlands are
chemicals
pretty tall too, I think.
into the stomach lining. It gets absorbed.
Probably all even in Japan they are because it's related to the food.
Melatonin is actually triggered
It's related to the
in
food.
part by bacteria.
It becomes more westernized, then you go up.
Not entirely.
Maybe it's also.
Listen about melatonin in the
Maybe
Functional
people
Fitness podcast.
like
Did you listen to that?
I think they
It's
prefer
amazing.
maybe.
I think it's my favorite podcast.
They actually have a problem
Anyway,
that they.
she mentioned-
They're more strict, I think, they don't.
They feel like it inhibits.
Oh, yeah, because I thought maybe now there's
So
more
what happens with
No, even between Japanese people, they have a problem that they don't have enough children.
That's not true. They've actually
Everyone's
tested
working.
blind people, introducing it to light. You actually
They
have
have a
sensors in
serious
your
problem.
skin.
Oh, but she says like,
And they are very strict.
Only if the
I think it's just too
so
much.
she talks about people that do not
Yeah, I think they like to keep
permanently
it.
blind, you know.
They
And
don't
they
like
always
to
have melatonin in their body,
They
and they
hate
have
the Koreans and the Koreans hate them because
I don't know, it's one of my
they
thoughts.
Okay.
I think they have like 50%
Koreans
Well,
is
it's
my lower
history.
class.
It's history. It's
I
not
wonder what
the
the
same.
I wonder what the sample size
For all the generation.
I don't know, she said like, because it's so easy to increase the sample size, you just find more
But I
blind
guess-
people.
Oh, but you, I mean, I wonder, you You could also be like, oh, well, this person looks healthy, you don't want to do a survey versus, hey, that person was blind and died already.
It's probably going away, but it's still a lot of people on that.
But they have different dialogues, and then it's, like, I know I have friends from India too, and it's also.
That's what I'm saying, I mean, they were young,
They also
right?
discriminate amongst one another.
They didn't have a chance
You know,
for
one's
cancer to.
mixed with British, so if you're lighter skin, more.
Nobody's gonna draw it off blood sample
skin.
CC reactive protein, you know what I mean?
Right.
That's why sometimes those like studies are really interesting, because you can have a well-conducted triple-blind study with actual
First time that
variables that are tightly controlled, but the study's only 12 people. Six the control, 6.
Yeah, because sometimes the amplitude of the response.
Yeah, it's fine, of course.
Money.
Well, that's what I'm saying, but you can have a
For
survey.
example, one of the visits that
Surveys are very
Prime Minister was a guy like 3 days.
But it just,
Embracing,
yeah, of course there are
big
so many
friends.
other variables that relates to the climate, like not partying all night, you know, of course.
British cemetery.
No, you can't.
That's why they
soldiers from the
like
First
Ray Charles,
World War.
they should have put him
First
in
World
there.
War, the British
fought
against
because
the
they have rock
Turks.
star lifestyles. I mean,
The Ottomans.
they don't sleep at normal time.
Pushed them out of the Middle East, of that
It's
area.
not like they're like, all right, I'm going to
Essentially,
jump in a
no,
bus and just go sleep.
John was big into drugs.
Policy.
Exactly.
It was an Ottoman.
So you wonder.
And there were Indian soldiers on the British army.
And shooting heroin.
And they
What does he
died
look
there.
at? What's he
So they
How
are
can
the
you
same.
find the vein? That's like.
I think so.
It's very interesting though.
No,
I don't know what
So
everyone does.
in Israel, many of those First World War
No, what I'm
British
saying is like,
officers, they are
heroin is
recognized. General Wingate was the leader of the British Army, and so there are,
You wanna join the bar? Go ahead.
It's going to be dependent on her.
We're going to Eureka on 6th.
Eureka. I'm just Eureka.
6th Street?
Yeah,
I work at Primal
Have you the car?
It's a new one.
That's not a good one.
just take a validation ticket.
Yeah, I got to the.
Wait, there's validation?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, this is very-
For the car.
No, for the
Oh,
parking.
oh,
Pay
no.
$3.60.
We parked on the street
I know.
because we were running late.
If you park on, under this building, it's
Yeah.
expensive, but then you get a second
Oh, yeah?
ticket,
So
and
it's for
then
Oh,
it costs me $5.
I should have done that.